Hey, my name is Andrew Barbuto, and today I'm going to talk about how to close your first sale starting from day one. Starting a new sales job is hard, and it can feel overwhelming. There's a lot to learn, but no one really tells you step by step what to do starting from day one. Like many new salespeople, I had zero formal training when I first started. I had to figure things out on my own through trial and error. And it took me about 6 months to close my first deal. But once I did, everything became easier. Each sale built my confidence and expanded my story library and sharpened my approach. That's exactly why I wrote my book, Top Sales Producer. This is the exact playbook that I've used both in my first sales job and my current sales job, starting from scratch to build a book of business that's worth $350 million. Today, I'm gonna walk you through my step-by-step process for closing your first deal starting from day one. If you follow this, you'll shorten your ramp-up period, close deals faster, and build a massive book of business. The first step we're gonna talk about is to become an expert. Learn your product, industry, and competitors, and keep learning. Understand your ideal client's businesses, goals, and pain points inside and out. Thoroughly get a strong understanding of what their day-to-day is like, what they care about, what are their goals, more than just surface level. Meet with various teammates and existing customers to get a 360-degree view of how you can help. Step 2, learn your sales process and internal systems. Figure out who's who and where to go for what. It's very important that you have a thorough understanding of your sales cycle and where you need to go for what in order to move deals forward up front, so that way you don't send yourself on a wild goose hunt every time you need to look for something. It's better to learn up front rather than learning as you go, so that way you can be as efficient as possible with your time. Understanding your company's CRM, reporting, and operational workflow is critical in order to move every deal forward. Step 3 is identify your ideal customer profile and your persona profiles. So these are what your best customers look like. What are their attributes? What size are they? What industry are they in? What vertical? Understanding exactly what their needs are, what their goals are, and how you can help them. Step 4 is develop your pitch and prospecting message geared towards that ideal customer profile and the various decision makers at those companies. Work with your colleagues, study internal resources, and refine what makes you different. Who you can help and how you can help them, and why should they care. It's very important that you develop a clear, competitive pitch that separates you from everyone else and is compelling enough so that way people will want to set up time with you to learn more, and when you actually get in meetings, are gonna be interesting enough to continue the process beyond that initial meeting. Step 5 is to build your target account list. Based on the ideal customer profiles that you've created, depending on your company, you'll either get an assigned account list or you'll have the flexibility to create your own. Use that list to determine which ones are a strong fit and are qualified, that have the means and the need to buy from you, and which ones you should discard. It's very important that you're spending all of your time focused on the most qualified prospects for your time management purposes. Step 6, mine your CRM and your LinkedIn for warm prospects. Past clients are a great place to start when you're looking for warm prospects. If they had a need once, they're more likely to have a need again, and you know they're qualified since they previously worked with you. Find out why they stopped working with you. Sometimes it's due to somebody leaving, other times it's due to other reasons such as dissatisfaction. Find out by reaching out to the person who used to work on the account, if there's anybody that's still at your company, and then find out who it is they had that relationship with. Talk about what's changed and what's updated since they last worked with you. That should be compelling enough for them to set up time with you. Do that for all of your past clients as a starting point. Then check your LinkedIn. Go through all of your connections to see if there's anybody that you might be able to help that could be a good fit. People change jobs all the time, so somebody that maybe you didn't realize is now a part of your potential target accounts, it could be a great person to reach out to and set up time with. Just recently, I was going through my LinkedIn connections and I found somebody that I went to college with that worked at a company that fits my ideal customer profile. I reached out to them and was able to create an opportunity. Next, you want to find new prospects that fit your ideal customer profile. So a great place to do this is utilizing LinkedIn Sales Navigator. You can select the various filters that describe your ideal customer profile. Then you can take it a step further by identifying the actual roles and experience level that you're typically selling to. And you can even find people that you have commonalities with, whether that be a shared connection, a mutual job history, somebody that went to your college. Any data point that you have in common with this prospect, in my experience, will increase the likelihood of them responding to you. Now, keep in mind that the average cold prospect takes 7 touch points to respond to your email or your LinkedIn message. So make sure that you're using a combination of LinkedIn, email, and phone calls to increase those touch points until you get to at least 7 before you give up on a particular prospect. Most salespeople give up before they reach that 7 touch points. So in order for you to truly know that a sequence is complete, you should have reached out to them at least 7 different times with different channels. Step 8 is to prospect relentlessly. If you're not inheriting an existing book of business, spend 90% of your time on cold outreach, personalizing your outreach to warm leads, and do mass general outreach to reach the right person at the right time to cold leads. It's important that you are reaching out to a large enough group of people to reach the right person at the right time, because it's gonna take a ton of emails and a ton of follow-ups. Send roughly 100 emails a day and follow up at least 7 times. If you do, you will be setting up meetings at least 2 to 3 a week. Try to aim to fill your calendar as much as possible. Spend 1 week prospecting, the next week taking meetings. And regularly mix in research so that way you're constantly looking for new potential prospects that you can help. Step 9, book as many qualified sales meetings as possible. Your goal should be anywhere from 2 to 5 per week. You will need to set up a lot of meetings up front in order to close deals. So the more meetings that you can set up, the more opportunities you will create, the more opportunities will lead to sales. So try to set up as many as possible and refine your approach in each sales meeting to get better and better as you go. The next step is to qualify and secure next steps in meetings. When you're in your meetings, make sure that you first qualify them to make sure that they're a good fit and that they're capable of buying from you. Do they have a need and do they have the means to buy from you? Then try to lock in the next step. Don't necessarily go for the sale at the start of my sales career. I would rush to get to the end of the sales cycle. Slow down, find out if they're qualified, find out if you can help them, present your solution in a compelling way, geared towards their needs, and then try to lock in the next step, whether that be a next meeting, a proposal, whether that be a demo. Find out what makes sense for their sales cycle, and then work to lock it in before the meeting ends while you still have their attention. The goal for every meeting should be to get that next step and to uncover key details that will help you with making the sale. A typical sales cycle can be anywhere from a few weeks to over 2 years, depending on your industry. So make sure that you're patient and you're focusing on those opportunities that are qualified, that you know have the ability to buy from you, so you're not wasting your time on unqualified prospects, which could be a huge time waster and ultimately be very detrimental. If you're interested in my script of how I secure next steps in meetings within 5 minutes, head over to andrewbarbuto.com/resources, where you can get a script and a video of me reading it that I use in all my meetings to secure next steps 90% of the time. Step 11 is to fill the pipeline and nurture leads. Keep booking meetings, keep creating opportunities with qualified prospects so that way you always have multiple live at any given time. It's very difficult to know which ones will close, so you need to fill your pipeline with qualified opportunities so there's always someone that's close to closing. In the meantime, you want to provide value, you want to create urgency by doing things like financial analysis, case studies, relevant industry articles, anything that you can do to help them do their job better while also reinforcing the value that your solution will deliver them. That's going to be how you move from meetings to proposals. For each meeting that you have, take close notes, transfer all of your notes into your CRM so that way you have all of the relevant details to make your follow-ups as useful as possible to them, and you're always aware of what the key value drivers they found in your solution were. Sometimes opportunities are not right for a particular time, but they could be right down the line. So it's important that you always remember all of the details, all of the learnings that you've gotten from these meetings. Another thing that's really important about meetings is that you're always improving, always learning. So take stock of every meeting that you go into, especially those initial ones, and try to take something from it that worked and that didn't work. So that way you can continuously improve, and your meetings, you'll get to a point where every single meeting that you have will secure those next steps and will be a productive one. Step 13 is to provide value and continuously prospect. You should always be doing 3 things. Doing research to find new prospects, outreach to those prospects based on data points, and providing value to opportunities that are currently in the lead nurturing phase. Always be filling your pipeline with new prospects, qualifying and disqualifying prospects, and providing value, because again, you never know which one is going to be ready to buy. So make sure that you're always being helpful, being a useful resource to them. And when the time is right, you'll be top of mind. If you're not adding value, you're just another salesperson that's filling up their inbox thinking about themselves. Adding value will change you from just another vendor to a resourceful consultative partner. Step 14 is to send proposals. When you receive that RFP, review the RFP, pick up the phone and call your prospect. Make sure that you get all of the information from them of what their expectations are, what they're hoping for from you, what are the key value drivers, what are the things they're going to be looking for in their proposals. See if you can get a handle on how many people that they're RFPing. If they're RFPing 20 vendors and it would be the first time they'd be working with you, your chances of winning the business are very low. And you should not spend the same amount of time on this RFP as you would for one where you actually created the RFP or one where you have a good relationship with that person. So try to get all the details that they haven't included in their RFP and try to find out on the phone what it will take to win their business. Then use their words in your proposal, customize it to exactly what they're looking for, provide evidence as to why you feel confident you'll be able to deliver on their objectives, and then present it to them also over the phone if you can. The more you can get them to invest in you and have a part in your proposal, the more likely you are to win the business since they'll be taking ownership of it. Finally, stay persistent for all of your opportunities. Make sure every other day you're following up, you're finding out feedback. Don't just submit a proposal and then just wait for them to send you a response. Do not expect a response in any of your emails, let alone your proposals. Try to get on the phone with them, try to find out any feedback you can get, keep the momentum going. Anytime that the deal goes cold, your chances of winning the business are much smaller. So make sure that you're always staying on top of it every other day and you are seen as somebody that potentially could help them and they have confidence in your solution. Find out one way or another. If you submit a proposal, find out whether you won the business or you didn't and why. What can you do to improve it next time? Oftentimes, you might lose the first one because they never worked with you, but there could be another opportunity down the line that's a better fit where you could potentially win the business. So you want to stay involved and you want to make sure that you get that feedback so that you can continuously improve your proposals. Finally, for the RFPs that there seems to be an investment, it's a good fit, and you can tell that your prospect is invested in potentially partnering with you, make sure that you get on the phone with them before you submit any formalized contract to ensure that you guys are aligned on exactly what you're presenting as well as the price. Find out from them any feedback that you can receive and get that verbal approval on a conversation before you submit it by email. Also, try to find out if there's going to be anybody that they're going to have to sell internally to. Be a resource to them, let them know that the recommendation is flexible and you want to make sure that it's tailored to exactly what they're looking for. When it comes to pricing, start off by using your rate card and then find out details from them with respect to their historical pricing. Are they looking at other partners? Are you the only one? What have they received in terms of pricing models historically so that way you can make it as seamless a process for them as possible. Again, try to get verbal approval before you send the contract over to them. Stay on top of it until it's signed. My final thoughts are, in order to win your first piece of business, it takes time. Realistically, it will most likely take you at least 3 months. If you're not inheriting a book of business, those 3 months are your golden hours that you can use to spend most of your time prospecting. When you start building your book of business, you're not gonna have as much time to focus on it. So try to spend as much time as you possibly can with prospecting, providing value, setting up meetings, improving your processes. Find as many people to help and help them. If you continue to fill your pipeline with qualified opportunities and you find new ways to help them, eventually you'll be making deals. And you do that enough time, you can come across some huge opportunities which will create a massive book of business for you that puts you over your sales quota. If you want the exact sales method that I've used starting from day one, head over to my website, andrewbarbuto.com/top/sales/book to get a sneak preview of my upcoming book, Top Sales Producer, How to Crush Your Sales Quota. Available on pre-order next month. My book takes you step by step through a 10-step process to close a deal. Everything from research to outreach to meeting preparation, how to conduct an effective sales meeting that secures next steps, to demos, lunch and learns, everything from advancing deals and lead nurturing through proposals, negotiation, collaboration, through the close. What to say and do at each stage of the sales cycle to speed it up, and gives you step-by-step instructions starting from day one to close one. Head over to andrewbarbuto.com for a sneak peek. You can watch any of my other videos where I talk about how to build immediate rapport, how to build credibility, Every week I put up B2B sales tips videos that teach different parts of the sales cycle. I hope that you found value in this. If you did, please subscribe. Keep an eye out for my weekly B2B sales tips videos. And always remember, if you're not helping, you're not selling. Thanks.